Good. Appreciate you guys being here today. Just kind of a quick recap. Obviously, disappointed with last weekend, and we had some adversity for sure with a lot of guys out with COVID and so forth, including myself, which was a very unusual experience for me to sit at home and watch your own team play. Was gut wrenching, to be honest with you, but that's what we kind of the hand we're dealt. And when we decided to play this year, I think that's something we had to have a plan for. We did. I thought our guys tried to execute, as far as our staff and all the things that went along with it. I think total we had 3 full-time coaches out, all our offensive GAs going into the game, about 16 players. I think 6 of them may have got released the day of the game, which means they didn't practice any for the last 10 days or whatever. So we were definitely playing it a little bit, less than full strength for sure, I guess, to say the least. But, my observation of the game was that our guys did play extremely hard and didn't play very clean, didn't play very well, just being honest. But we did play hard. Defensively, I thought we continued to play solid on that side of the ball. We struggled in the first half, with getting off the field. I think they maintained several drives. They had a good little scheme that I thought we adjusted to at halftime, but didn't tackle near as well. And I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of those guys that were playing had not practiced that much, and it shows. We missed a lot of tackles. I thought didn't fit some things right. Deep offensively, it really came down to the turnovers and execution. When I really look back, the first 43 plays we ran, there were 11 or 12 missed assignments, just either up front or at wide out or the quarterback. And, when you have that many missed assignments, it's going to be a tough day. That's why we never got really much consistency, in my opinion. And then the 2 turnovers both led to points, and really we lost points on one as well, throwing the interception in the end zone. So, for us offensively, we have got to get, first of all our guys hopefully back together this week, and second of all, just get back in cohesion and start executing a lot better. Special teams, I thought we were average. We had two penalties, I think, on special teams, which is a big deal, because it negates some returns, and that's some hidden yardage that we missed out on because of that. Overall, we punted the ball well, I thought, but we got a lot of improvement to do this week before we get ready to play a really good App State team. Looking forward to this week. I do feel like we'll be closer to full strength for sure. I think I come out of quarantine on Friday, so I plan on getting up to North Carolina and getting prepared. We've carried on business as usual so far. I've run the team meetings and the quarterback meetings and the offensive meetings and so forth, and tried to carry on as much as we can here from working remotely through Zoom and so forth. I think our players and coach and staff, they're doing a great job of trying to keep things on as a normal routine as possible to try to get a good plan together for this game. Big challenge for us on the road, really good opponent. Long road trip, late night game, all those things that go along with it. So, we've kind of tried to embrace that. Hey, we'll bring on the next challenge. Here we are, and we'll lock arms and do this together, and it'll feel that much better when we go up there and get the win. That's kind of our mindset. When I take a look at App State, I think the first thing sticks out to me is just really a veteran team. I want to say 15 out of the top 22 are seniors now. I guess they're all juniors with the way the NCAA has done things now, but they have a veteran team, a lot of guys that have played, and it really shows in their O-line. I think 4 of them are seniors. Their quarterback, obviously, to me, is the guy that makes them go. Zach Thomas can make plays with his feet as well as throwing it. Really heady player, does a great job of doing what they ask him to do. So very impressed with him. The 2 tailbacks, Marcus Williams and Cameron Peoples, are both really solid players, and they played the young guy, Nate Noel, I think, as well last week. So, solid unit. They're going to, what they're going to do, and they're going to do it well. And they got good players doing it. So we'll have to have another great effort on defense to try to slow them down. Defensively, I want to say they got 6 seniors on that side of the ball. Very, very solid. You don't see a whole lot of weaknesses. They tackle well, run to the ball well. I think their corner, Sean Jolly, is a really good player. One of the better probably corners in our league. He's proven that, I think, over time. He's a guy that kind of sticks out to me. But you just see a group that plays extremely hard and tackles well in space. And I think that's gonna be a big challenge for our line up front. Is we've got to be able to win some at the line of scrimmage so we can run the football some. And I think that's important. Obviously, that comes with us also being able to protect in the passing game as well and being able to mix it up some. I think that's important. The quarterbacks can get us in the right play according to the box count and so forth. And I think that's going to be the key to our success moving the ball is really just getting back to executing at a high level, which I think when we left Arkansas State, we felt pretty good about that after that. But obviously some things have changed over that time. Specialist wise, very solid group. I think their kicker, Chandler Staten, he's another senior that, very solid. They do a great job in the punt game as well with another senior. So just a really good football team. Sean Clark is their head coach now and really good guy, good friend of mine. I think he does a great job and he played there. He's been an assistant there. He knows that place well, very well entrenched there. And, he's got them playing at a high level. They lost a tough game to a good Coastal Carolina team that if you watch that game, they were in a really good shape most of the game. And there toward the end, I think Coastal got a couple. So big challenge for us this week, but one that we'll be ready for. And, whatever challenge we have ahead of us, it's like I told our team, I want us to lock arms and take on these challenges together. We still have a third of our season left. A lot of teams have 2 games left and they're done. We have 4, which means there's 4 great opportunities out there for us. We have sitting here right now 4-4, really with some opportunities to probably have won 2 or 3 other games, but for whatever reason we couldn't get it done. So we're looking forward to getting back on the field Saturday and really putting our best foot forward and having a great plan and really, accepting the challenges that have been in front of us. I think that's kind of been the message to our team. Okay, questions?
Chip, how have you felt physically through this? And just kind of take us through Saturday. I mean, did you watch it in your bedroom or what was that like?
I started having symptoms last, I think, Tuesday, really. We tested on Wednesday morning, and I found out Thursday evening that I had tested positive. My symptoms were pretty mild, to be honest with you. Just felt a little fatigued, maybe a little bit of a head cold. Did lose have lost some taste and smell sense that they say you do. That's true, but really not as bad as I read about some people. So I'm very fortunate from that standpoint. But it was definitely a shocking blow. You just don't ever anticipate not being there with your team when you're playing. I basically sat at my house and watched it on TV, and it was we have rules in place. You're not supposed to communicate and do all that, so I really had to watch it from a fan's viewpoint, and it was really hard. Just being honest with you, it was a tough situation, and I know there's several coaches across the country that have had to do it as well, and I actually talked to a couple, and it's one of those things that 2020 is unlike any other year we've ever been through, and could have never anticipated that. But hopefully now all that's behind us, and we can move forward and get ready for this last stretch run here.
Yeah, Coach, talk about Coach Blackman and how that decision was made. Was that something that was talked in the offseason just in case, or how did that process start with naming him the interim?
Yeah, we started doing that in the summer. We kind of laid out a plan. Okay, if I miss, who's going to do what? If each and every, because you don't know who might miss. If he missed, who would do the special teams? If John Carr is our assistant head coach, but he also tested positive, so he would have normally taken that head coaching role, which is kind of had been our plan. I think Brian was going to be the next guy if John was out. John was out, so we just kind of stayed with our plan. Cole Weeks called the plays for us. He's been with me, I guess this is 6th year with me in some capacity as a player, GA, coach, whatever. So it was very natural for him because he's on the headset with me while I'm calling the plays. And then that was really the biggest disruption. The hardest part was probably, to be honest, the preparation. It's been going on that Thursday, Friday, and this week, not having GAs around to do the normal things that you get them to do to prepare for practice once we get it, getting it all scripted and so forth. But all our staff's done a nice job of filling in on that side of the ball. We also had Davern Williams out, our D-line coach. So now you get into, okay, who subs the D lineman and how are we doing that? I thought Brandon and his side had a great plan for that. one of our GAs stepped up there. But Brian, I thought, did a nice job. Had no qualms with anything he did for sure. I mean, he was trying to win the game just like any of us. He's been a head coach, I think, close to 20 years in high school. Had a really good program there here in Alabama, Opelika. He was very comfortable getting in front of the team, I thought, and really thought he managed the game fine on Saturday. And nobody wanted to win more than those guys or him and the guys that were coaching for sure. So just didn't get it done, and that's unfortunate. But it's time to reload and get ready for the next one.
Coach, I missed the first part of this, and if you mentioned it, I apologize. Just what were your thoughts on Gunner coming back, and what did you see out of his performance?
I'd say some good and some bad. He, obviously made really, really two poor decisions. And I'm not telling you anything he wouldn't tell you. I mean, we just can't throw the ball right to people, and I'm not sure what the confusion was and why it happened. Those are really two plays we'd worked a lot, and I think understanding Gunner is still probably a young quarterback in his development, especially with missing 3 weeks in a row and so forth. But when you get the ball down in the red zone, we can't. It's twice in two losses we've turned the ball over in the red zone instead of just protecting it. And touchdowns and checkdowns is what we always talk about. At least we got points, we hope. So disappointed in those two decisions. We got to play better at that spot, whether it's him, Jacob, or whoever. We are a quarterback-driven offense, like most people, and we hold them to a high standard, and they have to execute. And when I talk about execution on offense, it's all the way around. It's quarterback, it's offensive line, it's running backs. We just the last couple of weeks have not really all clicked at the same time. And there's obvious excuses you can make for that: who's in lineup, who's out, and so forth. But at the end of the day, if you get on the field, you ought to be able to execute our base offense. And that's kind of what we've tried to focus on, narrowing things down, making this easier on our guys somehow, some way. And I think that's what you have to do as a coach, figure out how we can, execute an offense at a high level. And that's what we're working on.
Anybody else have anything for Coach?
Coach,
Go ahead, Steven.
Coach, outside of obviously viewing it from television and from your house, did you see things differently than you thought you would while watching a game and breaking it down on TV? Is it just like any other watching film and breaking down after you coached on the sideline as well?
No, it's a lot different because the view, the angle on the TV is always a lot tighter, so you can't sometimes see everything. You don't really see the coverage and so forth. So, I mean, truly, you're watching it as a fan more than anything. I mean, obviously, I had an idea what was going on because of maybe where we were on the field, how we were lined up, the down and distance, whatever. But it was a different experience. And when we study film, we usually have three angles. A wide and a tight from behind and a tight from the backside. So you got three different ways to look at a play, and it's a lot more detail, I guess, oriented, the way it's shot by the video people. So, it was truly a different experience. And, and then they cut to replay and do different things, and you miss a lot of the interactions. But it's something I hope I never have to experience again with any team I'm coaching, for sure.
You guys are comfortable with whoever's quarterback back there, but what was it like having Gunner back this past week?
I mean, it's a good feeling. We've taken reps with both of those guys at the starting position, so we're comfortable with both of them. Gunner's obviously getting more reps, so there was a level of a normal back, having him back, but we just got to be better.
Hey Dylan, the running game's really struggled in recent weeks, and early in the year it was really good at times. Can you kind of pinpoint what's going on there?
Up front, we have to be better. I mean, we'll take the blame for that. It's one guy here, one guy there. We're this close. So, breaking some big ones. Saturday, we later on in the game, we finally started hitting some runs. All five of us just have to get on the same page and execute at the end of the day, and that's how you run the ball. Trust your running backs to hit the right hole. But to start, you know, we have to be better, and that's our challenge this week at practice. You know, we're practicing a little different, doing individual a little bit different, trying to play with a different little bit of an edge. You know, doing everything we can to be better this week.
For you guys as a whole, what was it like having Coach Lindsey out this past week?
Definitely different. You know, that's the first time in my life I can ever say, you know, my head coach wasn't able to be on the sidelines. Now I know he was obviously watching from his house and whatnot, but there were some, you know, moving parts. It took some getting used to, but at the end of the day, you know, we knew that this was a possibility in the season, you know, and just like I've said, sitting right here before, you know, when you lose people due to COVID and yada, 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 you just got to roll with the punches and keep going. You know, I think Coach Blackman did a great job as far as the role he was placed in. You know, I think there was a bigger difference for maybe some position groups because Coach Lindsey was out, like he's with the quarterbacks a lot. But, you know, for us, with Coach Pugh still being there, that kept it somewhat normal. But it just having a different voice whenever you get it up as a team, you know, it's different. But, you know, we're working through it.
Coach Lindsey mentioned a little while ago that you guys still have a third of your season left. So how do you approach these last 4 games of the season?
Well, I mean, you got to approach it to win, you know, all 4 of our games that we have left. I don't care who you are. If you play this game, and, I mean, I know me for personally, I'm a competitor, and anything I do, you know, I want to win. And we may be 4-4 right now, and conference championships, you know, out of our chances. But at the end of the day, if I'm as much time as we put into this game and the practice and the film study and, you know, devoting our daily lives to winning football games, I'm not going to spoil a chance and, you know, just hang it up for the rest of the season. I think it's a quarter. The last quarter of the season is where your team can grow a lot too. You know, just because you don't like where you're at doesn't mean you can't change it. You know, that's kind of the way I feel about where we're at right now. I know me and the other 9 guys on the leadership council, you know, we've kind of come together and are trying to push our individual groups. And when I say that, I mean our position groups, as far as, you know, find your edge, find something to, you know, fight for, you know, within yourself, and so you can play for that and your brother beside you, you know. We've got some growing to do, but if you think we're going to lie down this last quarter of the season, you've got us mistaken.
Anybody else for Dylan?
Dylan, do you think if Coach says he should be out, if all goes well by Friday, at quarantine, you think he'll come kind of like super fired up message to be back on the sideline, or you just think he's going to be normal? Lynn, does he think he'll come back with?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sorry. So with Coach Lindsey being out last week, do you think if he you know was able to travel with the team, and he said he'd be at a quarantine on Friday, do you think he'll come super fiery? Because man, he went this week and now he's going to be back on the field. He spoke Lindsey once he's back on the field Saturday.
I couldn't really hear your question all the way, but I think I kind of got where you were going with the bits and pieces. You know, we are expecting to get Coach Lindsey back this weekend, and I do believe, you know, he'll bring a level of motivation to the team. You know, just seeing his face back around, that's your head ball coach. Everybody wants to have your head ball coach around. But I think you can't turn it on Friday. Yeah, he can bring that little bit of motivation, but we have to focus here and now on being better. Playing with an edge, being intense, playing for a purpose. Everything that I've talked about. We have to practice that. Yesterday. Starting on Sunday. That was our goal. If we're gonna have a chance to finish this the way we want to do it, things have to change now. There's no waiting. So we'll definitely be a motivated ball club. Going to Boone this weekend. It'll be great to get Coach Lindsey back. We're hoping to get him back. I hope he's feeling well. But at the end of the day, the game of football is much more simple than people make it out to be. Players have to make plays. You have to execute plays. And that's just the bottom line where we're at right now.
The defense has kind of really turned it on this season, or especially these last few games. What's been the difference that you guys have noticed out of this bunch this year?
I mean, we just got a whole bunch of guys who genuinely love the game. They're bought in completely. Us as a defense, we have a lot of intensity that we bring, that we pride ourselves on. So I would say that's the difference.
You guys are heading into App State, a very potent offense year in and year out up there. Just what's the mindset for this defensive side of the ball heading in to face such a talented offense?
I mean, I would say we had the same mindset that we try to come out with every game, and that answer would be just to dominate and be the ones who always start the fight and to throw the first punch, like just be intense the entire ball game. We want to beat the man whoever across a one-on-one, so we have the same mindset every game.
We talked with Coach Lindsey a little while ago. There's still 4 games left in the season for you guys. I know conference championship and all that is kind of out of the picture right now. But how do you guys approach these last 4 games? What have you guys been talking about to end this season the right way?
We just, as a team, we just all want to come together and like be able to compete and like finish ball games. I think I would say that would be our biggest problem so far. We just have to finish. And we just need to come in, continue to bring intensity and to practice well, and just be able to find ways to finish and win ball games.
Now, I know it was a year ago, but they put it on y'all pretty bad to end the season last year. When you think back on that, going forward into this week, I don't know that revenge is the word, but are you excited to get another shot at these guys?
I mean, yeah, I'll always say there's a chip on our shoulder. I want to say it's too different from any other team, but when you lose a ball game like that, it always doesn't sit with you well. You want to come back and prove that you're a much better defense. You want to prove that you can play harder and that anybody can't run over you like that. So I think I would say we have a chip on our shoulder.
Speaking of Chip, you guys get head coach Chip Lindsey back this week. How big will it be to have him back on the sidelines for you guys?
I mean, it's always a great thing when we can have our head coach back. He's one of the leaders on this team. But at the same time, he's gone right now, and we have a whole bunch of other coaches who are very capable of, capable of leading this team and helping motivate us. But, Coach Lindsey being back will be great. He just always brings a different type of fire, I would say, and you just love to see it on the sideline.
How about the evolution of that and how you've come along in that area?
Really, everything started to click when I actually first got here. I know when Tyler was here, I struggled a little bit in team and live situations, and that's really just getting comfortable and getting my catch to kick ball time down. So speed that up, so because you also have a rush coming at you, so you need to be able to perform at a fast level. And really just growing this year, everything started to click, and the main thing Coach Blackman wanted me to work on is, like I said, my op time from the snap to kick, get that time down, and so that was the main thing I worked on, especially my hands. So.
Well, speaking of timing, you were backed up inside the 5 your first 3 punts on Saturday. As a punter, talk about that a little bit because you have no room for error when you're in that situation.
Yes, sir. That was really my first opportunity to have really a backed up punt all season because I just started the past few games, and really it was a little nerve wracking. I didn't really think about it at first, and then I know we're in a situation where we needed 3 good punts in all 3 situations, and so on the last one I did ball the snap, which is unacceptable, and we've been working on that this week again. But really just keeping my eyes disciplined and just focusing on eyes on the ball and focusing on what I need to do to kick and blocking everything out.
I know some people may think, oh, well, you've kicked before, so, moving to punting's fine. But Candace, still, what are the differences? I understand, kicking field goals is a lot different than punting, but what differences does it go through to make that transition?
Really, in my opinion, and I think a bunch of fellow kickers could vouch for me on this, but I think we all believe punting takes a lot more skill. It's you're kicking a moving ball, and you're having to catch, and as kicking, it's all of it's hard, but there's a ball that's being put down and it's still, and so really there's a lot going on to punting, and you got to be able to do it at a fast level and be able to give your team the best opportunity and give the opposing team a long field to drive.
Flip side of that, how does that help you? How do you work that in with your kickoff duties and everything that you have as well?
Really, we've been doing it, or I've been doing it for a while. The kickoffs and getting that first year under my belt actually helps a lot. So I've gotten a lot more confident with that. And I know football's football, but coming from high school, coming straight to college football, it's a big difference, and there's a lot more on your plate. So really, just handling both these 2 phases in the game. Really just focusing in practice. We have, like today was kickoffs. We focus on kickoffs, so just focus on that. And tomorrow will be punt. So each day just go day by day and focus on the skill sets.